Uh, to answer your question directly, nothing has changed. It has even grown from bad to worse. We have not made any improvement whatsoever in all aspects of our national life. In terms of security, let's even take this particular government from the promises they made to Nigerians in 2014 that culminated into the election in 2015. There are things they have actually promised they will do. One of which was issue of insecurity, tackling insecurity. Now, almost every day, Nigerians are being slaughtered. There is no time you open to your radio station or to your television without hearing the news, the sad news of Nigerians that are being slaughtered. Not one person, not two persons, sometimes 16 persons, 20 persons on daily basis. The Northwest and the Northeast, it has become the slaughter ground that almost everywhere in the world you tune to the story about Nigeria, I'm sure there is no serious investor that want to come to a country where on a daily basis, you are talking about murder, you are talking about people being killed. And we have not declared a total war in the country, but fellow Nigerians are the one perpetuating the act. And then the inability of the security architecture to achieve effective policing of or effectively protecting Nigerians from the slaughter has been on that the House of Reps, the Senate, have actually passed a resolution asking that the president should change the leaders who are in the forefront in securing Nigeria, all to no avail. It got to the stage that the president was now trying to impress it upon Nigerians as if we didn't know that it is his responsibility to appoint and also to dismiss. He was making it look, I have the sole responsibility of appointing. I also have the sole responsibility of dismissing. And so he was boasting about it. Yes, we agree that you have the power to hire and fire. But we're saying that if over time, we have not been able to receive adequate security from the people you call the security chiefs, are there no way as somebody that is in charge of Nigeria to take a second look at the performance of these people and do a review and probably take a decision as to whether you retain them or you remove them? So it's been like that. Over time, Nigerians are not happy. Now, not only is the Northeast and the Northwest affected, the South-South generally are also not secure. You hear, or even of the North Central, you are aware that I think either in Plateau or Benue yesterday, there were mass murders. A family, they came to the family and killed as many as possible and burned down their homes and all that. And you begin to wonder. The next thing that I hear, the police said that it was issue of armed robbery, whereas the people were saying it's herdsmen that actually came to attack them. So on the issue of insecurity, the government has not done much in terms of improving the security of our lives and property from where they started from 2015. I remember that, of course, Nigerians were also clamoring for issue of security of their lives and property in 2014, and they made it a campaign slogan that they would come and secure Nigerians. And so if you want to judge them whether we have improved on our security of lives and property from 2015 and we're now in 2020, I'll tell you that not much. The Boko Haram insurgents are killing every day. The soldiers are resigning now, things we have never heard before, in mass. I mean, it got to a stage that a person who is a soldier came back from war front and killed his boss directly because of state of frustration. And most of them are also complaining that they're not given enough equipment, and then they're not being encouraged in terms of welfare, of their lives, in order to carry out the responsibility that they have been asked to carry out. And so things are not happening the way it's supposed to happen with regards to those who are really protecting our lives. Most of them, no doubt, and one have to be fair to them, are doing most of the things they are doing in terms of securing our lives with little or nothing. They complain at times. Those complaints also are swallowed. Nobody wants to hear them. And most times they get dismissed. Sometimes they get punished for ever speaking out against what is happening in the war front. So I am saying, in effect, that we have not gotten the promises of security of our lives fulfilled by this government. Now, let's go to issue of what you call corruption. which again is another. Well, in terms of freedom of expression, which is a constitutional guaranteed right, it is there in our 1999 Constitution. There has not been much improvement from when we were under the military. But a lot of people have been taken to jail under this dispensation for freely expressing themselves. You know, why are we remembering what happened to Sowore? What was he doing that was wrong that made him to pass through what he passed through, which by 5th will be a 1-year remembrance anniversary of that particular incident? Is because the man wanted to express himself and look and say that things are not, you know, right with us as a nation. We have not advanced further. And why must we continue to live under such a situation where lives of people are not being improved, security of lives are not being improved, we don't have power, we don't have good roads. It's not for want of money, but for the fact that we have inept and very corrupt leadership that has actually been a curse upon us as a people, and we have not been able to make much progress. So, for freely expressing himself, he was also he passed through a lot of punishment and affliction of pain. In my own case, and I want to also bring this to bear, was a situation where when Justice Onoge was taken out in such a manner that I felt that was purely unconstitutional, not in accordance with our law. And I had to voice out my clear opposition that this is absolutely wrong. That is a dangerous precedent we are setting. A Chief Justice of the Federation cannot be removed by an ex parte order by the president. There is nowhere that is found in our constitution. And I said it openly and I felt they didn't like it. And then what they did was through a woman who happened to be one of the people they wanted, you know, to come back to the country, in which I personally put my life online in order to bring the woman back to face her trial. Because when she said she is innocent of her offense, I said, come back to Nigeria. You cannot stay abroad and say you are innocent of any offense. Come. And I succeeded in bringing her before EFCC and handed her over to EFCC. The same EFCC that I handed this woman over to, now through another carelessness and, you know, another means that is purely civil, drove this woman back abroad. They drove her back. They were in her house for 12 hours, searched this woman, intimidated her, and really made her to be very scared of her life. And she ran back. And the woman ceased communication with me. Despite all that, ladies and gentlemen, I went after this woman through Interpol. And I got Interpol to place her on red alert with such good news that I brought, believing that I'm working all in the interest of the country, being a patriotic citizen. And I went to tell Magu that I've succeeded in getting this woman to be placed on red alert. The next thing I heard is that I should be locked up. So Magu ordered my detention for 23 days. And then despite there was a court order, immediately that I was arrested wrongly, that I should be released or charged to court. Magu said that he cannot obey court order. In fact, the lawyers in the agency told my lawyers that Magu does not obey any court order, that if we want this particular judgment to be, I should call one particular lawyer in Nigeria who will only advise and not a court order being obeyed by him. We now have to initiate a criminal contempt proceeding against Magu. But I'm surprised that Magu is crying now for spending only 10 days in the cell, and he's saying now he wants his freedom and he wants fair hearing and all that. So what we're trying to say is that the moment you open up and speak against this government and criticize this government and say that things are wrong, the next thing is that they come after you, which is not correct. So people are not being allowed to freely express themselves. In fact, today, we are filing a contempt proceeding against DSS for keeping one emperor, Barrister Monday Emperor, who practices law in Aba, who happens to be from Abia State, who has been in detention of DSS for the past 3 months without any formal charge. There has been 3 rulings of the court in which the court has even awarded damages against DSS, asking DSS to release and pay damages against for illegal detention. And DSS has actually decided to disobey all those 3 court orders that have been there. There was 1 court order from in Abuja, 2 court orders from Omoyele, and up to now those orders have not been obeyed. But I hear today that they have managed to charge the young man to court after detaining him for 3 solid months without any court order. Without any court order for an offense they felt that the young man has committed, but they failed to bring that particular matter before the court. The same thing they wanted to do with Sowore. until the entire world started to cry out. I said, why would you do this? If you have any offense that this man has committed, the best thing to do is to bring that individual before an impartial court and let the court be in a position to say, after the evidence you have adduced is sufficient enough to convict the man, and not for you to sit down and judge and put somebody in an illegal detention without any court order, without being convicted by the court. And so we cannot allow this to continue. There are things we need to agitate. There are things we need to correct about certain things happening in any government, whether this government or any other subsequent government, that we must not allow our freedom of expression to be curtailed by any person that we have elected, unless we are running a non-democratic regime, and that is military regime. But as long as we have all choosing to operate under democracy, nobody has any right whatsoever to determine or curtail our right to freely express ourselves. So I don't think this government has actually fared better in terms of obedience to court order and then respect of fundamental human rights or freedom of expression. They have actually, if you want me to score them, I'll give them 40%. They have not fared better than previous governments. The Nigerian Bar Association just held an election in which one Olu Akpata, a non-senior advocate of Nigeria, emerged. It has never happened for the last 20 years, where a non-senior advocate will be elected. I think the young lawyers took a position this year that enough of the senior advocates, they have had over time as president of the Nigerian Bar Association, without corresponding representation in terms of taking care of their welfare and being a voice, for the oppressed in the country. And so there was a memo that leaked from a senior advocate who was saying that it's like the juniors want to take over the leadership of the bar, and so they should not allow it. And when that memo leaked, it got to the knowledge of the constituency, and the majority of lawyers in the country are usually found in the junior ones. And so they took a position. And the result is that the man that came first, Olu Akpata, scored, I heard, almost 54%. There were other contestants, 2 other contestants and all that. Meaning, we can change the narrative in this country. The young ones in this nation can change the narrative. Sowore came out in 2019 for election, and he was not given the opportunity by the same Nigerian youth who were clamoring for change. Somebody has pointed out now that BB Nigeria, if you go and watch out those who are watching BB Nigeria, the majority of them are the young ones. They're all watching, and they are all following all those the dramatists personnel, those who are in the house. But when you talk about leadership, change, and making sure that we have the kind of leader that we deserve as a nation, our young ones will be found wanting, and they constitute over 60% of the electorate. So what is going on? So what is the matter? So we can change the narrative. 2023 is coming. We can change whatever we do not desire. Whatever we don't want in this country, Nigerians can change it. And so I am urging all Nigerians that Nigerians are on trial, and we cannot allow the system, the old system and the way of doing things that has not helped us as a nation to continue. I mean, basic infrastructures are non-existent. You cannot talk about 24 hours of light. You don't have good roads. Our hospitals are in bad shape. I mean, we don't have good schools, for God's sake. All our kids, we want them to go abroad. For issue of medical facility, we want to go abroad. Now, the abroad people are no longer interested in having Nigerians. So all of us are forced to now send our children to schools here. We are forced now to take our medications here in Nigeria. And the time is coming that they may even not want us to come over there to buy any of their properties. They rather want us to stay in our country in order to use our facilities, properly, in order to benefit majority of Nigeria. So what I'm trying to say, in effect, a time is coming where the world will reject Nigeria. When you are coming in with your green passport, they turn you back and say, go back and fix your country. So there must be a resolution of the young ones. Now they can change it. If they decide to change the narrative, it doesn't take them time. As I said earlier, the NBA election that just took place just, made us know that it is the determination of the people that can alter destiny, that can alter situation, that can alter history. The moment Nigerians take up there, say we are tired of what is going on, we can change the situation, they will do it in 2023. And that is clearly in their destiny, it's in their hands. So we can change it. And avoid issue of tribal sentiment, issue of all those things that they use in dividing us, tribalism and political affiliation, and all other things, sentiments, and come together as one and make a country that all of us shall be very proud of. And with Nigeria,
thank you very much.
we should be proud of. Yeah, thank you.